History Legends, now we're inviting Brother Frantz for motivational and courage. Motivation speaking about courage. I'm sorry.
All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Good. I was asked to come this evening to speak for the youth, or speak to the youth and to many of the adults this evening. Because I grew up in this church. I used to play those drums right over there. And I've learned a lot from this church. And the theme of this evening, this revival, is to be courageous. And I'm looking at a lot of faces in front of me, and I can tell a lot of you are courageous. Because not a lot of young adults right now are in the church on a Friday night. If you go outside, you see a lot of them doing a bunch of stuff that they should not be doing. But a lot of you are courageous. Whether you were doubtful yesterday, 5 minutes ago, an hour ago, you are very much courageous. But I'm not going to take too much of your time this evening because I don't want to take up the preacher's time. But a famous president once said, actually the third president of the United States once said, does anyone know who the third president of the United States is? So you guys spelled history, I guess. Yeah, you guys did. But Thomas Jefferson once said, that's like a Jeopardy question that you should have got. One man or a woman with courage is a majority. Now, when you think of that, you might think, okay, one man or one woman is a majority. That doesn't make any sense because mathematically it doesn't make sense. But I really want you to reflect on that quote for the next 5 or 10 minutes as I pretty much testify about my life and the things I've pretty much been through. For some of you who don't know the definition of courage or don't know the roots of courage, it came from an old French term for courage, which is spelled C-O-R-A-G-E. Now it's spelled C-O-U-R-A-G-E in the English modern term. The definition of courage is the ability and willingness to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty, and intimidation. Now, how many people, to be honest, have been confronted by this type of animosity? Everyone has, I'm pretty sure. If you think that in your line of church, that's not good. There's two types of courage. There's physical courage, which is courage in the face of pain, hardship, death, or the threat of death. And then there's moral courage, which is the ability to act rightly in the face of a popular opposition. Now remember what Thomas Jefferson said, one man or woman with courage is the majority. Now how many people remember the movie or story, The Wizard of Oz? Great movie, right? I like the Michael Jackson version better, but that's neither here nor there. Now in that movie, in one of the first scenes, the opening scenes, the cowardly lion tries to bite Toto. And then Dorothy, the little girl from Kansas with the red shoes, smacks the cowardly lion. Now mind you, a lion is the king of the jungle. A beast, a big man, or more or less in this movie, the big man, but an animal who is the king of the jungle. Now when you think of a lion, you think no one's gonna mess with a lion. But in that opening scene, the lion jumps back because he tries to bite Toto, but the little girl, Dorothy, smacks him in the face. Now throughout the story, throughout the movie, you realize that he starts to get courage. Why? Because he decides to drink a little bottle of God knows what at that time. But he ends up getting courage. And one of those famous lines that he uses, put him up, because he's ready to fight. He's ready to fight anything that comes in his way. Because why? He has courage. Simple as that. But do you really need a potion to be courageous? Or is it a spirit within you? Now in 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, it says, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So how can you not have courage as Christians? I'm looking at a lot of young faces, a lot of faces who are going to college, who are graduating out of college, going to the next grade, or going to high school, or going to the next level in high school. If you didn't know, there's a lot of bullying going on in schools. Sears did a national study, and they said that 77% of young individuals experience bullying. 77%. So if you do the math, within 10 people, 7 out of those 10 people have been experienced, whether they were bullies or they experienced getting bullied. So I'm gonna actually give you guys a little advice. A person who is courageous will stand up to a bully, not to fight, but give them the word. A person who is courageous will not just sit there and let something happen. Now, courage, you just can't go to the mall and get it 50% off. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna go to a friend and say, hey, can I borrow your courage for a second? Just like sugar, can I just borrow it? No, that's not gonna happen. I had to face a lot of courage in my day. When I was playing the drums here many, many years ago, I had to face courage. I was scared beyond belief to play in front of these Haitians. Trust and believe. Because if I miss one note, it's like everyone looks at me like, oh my God, what are you doing? I've been there, I've done that. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, I had to face a lot of courage. And the reason why I was asked to come out here this evening to speak about courage, because this is an industry that I work in the entertainment industry, like extremely, extremely, extremely hard. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that goes on in this, the entertainment industry. Whether you want to be a nurse, whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be a poet, a writer, a singer, there's courage in everything you want to do. So all you young individuals who want courage, you already have it. Just look in the mirror and tell yourself, I got courage. Let me tell you a little story, actually, before I end. There was a time when I was at Southern Connecticut State University, where I went to school. And I was in my dorm, just watching TV. Got a pop-up email about an audition for this play. And at Southern, it's called The Pressing Players, which is a bunch of actors who kind of work on their craft to be better actors. So I decided to go. I was like, okay, let me just try it out. If you're a real actor, do anything you really love, you gotta practice at it, just like anything else. You wanna be a basketball player, you gotta practice at it. You wanna be a keyboardist, you gotta practice at it. No matter what it is, you have to practice, because practice makes exactly. So I went to audition, and I didn't get the part that I wanted. But they gave me a part that was completely the opposite. They wanted me to play a dirty old man, because that was the title of the show. So I was 21, and they wanted me to play a 70-year-old man. How in the world was I going to do that? So I got enough courage to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself to the challenge and play a character that I am not. Just like many of you may be doing on an everyday basis. Being someone you're really not. And that's not the way to live. So furthermore, I ended up getting the part. We ended up doing an off-Broadway production in New York. And before then, right before I got on stage, I said, there's no way I can do this. I have gray makeup all over me. I got this Bill Cosby sweater on me. I got tight corduroy pants. There's no way in the world I'm going to be able to have enough courage to speak in front of 300 to 500 people. What was I thinking? But I decided to do it. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. After the show, I go to the back room, get undressed, take off the makeup, I walk out, say hi to some of the people that came, thank them for coming. And there was this guy that came up to me, about yay high, big, broad, white guy. Looked me dead in the eye, and I'm like, why does this guy look at me dead in the eye? Who are you? I don't owe you any money. So he walks up to me, and my cast member says, do you know who that is? I said, I have no idea. She said, that's Dan Lauria. I said, who's Dan Lauria? He said, that's the father from the Wonder Years. Now, how many people remember the show Wonder Years? Great show. It's one of my favorites, actually. But for those of you who don't know who that is, just look him up on Google. He comes up to me and says, Frantz, you did an amazing job. The The director was telling you were having issues and you did not want to go on stage. But you were courageous enough to do it. And you had no problem. It was flawless. I said, well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I went in the back room and jumped around like I was a big fan. But this is what I'm telling each and every one of you today. You guys are going to have some obstacles. We all do. Tonight, some of you guys are going to have some obstacles. As soon as you let out of here, some of you guys are going to have some obstacles. But in Deuteronomy 31, verse 6 says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, and them meaning the enemy. The Lord your God goes with you, and he will never forsake you. So I'm going to leave you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight with a simple statement. You have the courage, so act like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Frantz, for such a motivational speech.